There we go. Team NoName2Lazy versus Team Vaeliant. Vaeliant obviously putting himself in the last pick, and he might be playing against their good buddy that they always give shout-outs to, Tony Majestics.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see, what actually, Vaeliant decides to play, because, he is kind of the key player to look for. He's going to be the head of our KDA contest. We'll see who he picks, and he's definitely want to play the matchup and play to his strength. And we see the Nidalee banned instantly, which we should expect from players that know him really, really well, like NoName and Majestics. They know this guy is amazing at Nidalee. If you look into his ranked history, you can probably see it too. So that's blocked out. Rumble blocked out now. It's another good ban. We've seen, we talked a lot about it. Graves, Nautilus. Both solid bans here.
Oh, we're not going to see the Nidalee versus Rumble top lane matchup?
No, it's been banned out.
So Nidalee, a targeted ban against our buddy Vaeliant. One of the key things about being a captain and knowing another player on the other team is you kind of have an idea of what they play. So, it really allows for variation and chemistry dynamics for each Judgment event as we see players go from Judgment to Judgment. And definitely, I don't know if our calendar has another BC Judgment set up in the next 2 months, but I can definitely tell you guys that future BC Judgments will happen. This is number 2 in our series. So there will definitely be more BC Judgments, and I'm just throwing that out there for those of you guys that have been with us since the beginning, since the first Judgment, where we all started with our Northwest League of Legends group on Facebook. We're probably going to do I don't want to say like a Seattle Judgment, but I know some of you guys are like, what? Why did the BC guys get their own Judgment? Well, we're definitely going to do something for you guys too, so definitely stay tuned. Not to mention, you guys also get EOS, where you don't have to drive from anywhere. You just get to show up in Seattle for the Seattle EOS. So, definitely we're going to do something for you guys, but I would say stay tuned.
Oh, I even forgot. So on top of all the cool stuff I said about End of Summerland earlier, which is happening September 22nd and 23rd, if you pre-register, you even get invites to invitational-only Judgment tournaments, which are only for people that have registered for EOS.
Yep.
So, yes, there's even more. I even forget, there's so much cool stuff in this tournament that you get for signing up and participating in, and so much awesomeness happening that I even forget how much there is. That's how awesome it is. Quick Maokai ban, and whoa, that's a really quick Ashe Tarek pick right there.
Yeah, so the final ban, so we saw the Nidalee, Graves, Nautilus, Rumble. Now Morgana and Alistair have been banned. Definitely agree with the Alistair ban. The Morgana ban, I think she's been banned a lot less frequent lately. I'm 50-50. Like in ranked, if I have an opportunity to play Morgana, I'm going to play Morgana. I think she's very safe. She has a lot of hard counters against burst casters, Talon, Pantheon, for example. And I think she has, but against most casters, she's a really strong, safe pick. Black Shield is amazing, although recently nerfed. So I can still agree with that Morgana ban. But the picks here, both junglers, or the assumed junglers, have been picked. You're gonna have Maokai and Skarner. I like both these junglers. They're like really good for that substitute gap closing or reverse gap closing CC abilities, which make for really strong ganks, and that's something you want from a jungler. And then the Corki pick, which is interesting. I haven't seen a Corki in quite a while. I know Otter mains Corki. He's also really good with about every other ranged AD character, but his big main was Corki. But here in BC, we've seen a lot of Graves. We've seen a lot of Vayne. Ezreal, of course. So, I'm interested here, and I'm really glad to see some Corki here. The Ashe Tarek, it's interesting because Tarek is someone you typically want to pair up with a more aggressive bot lane AD, champion, mainly because you can initiate off a Tarek, and then they're going to get free damage in that exchange. A lot of times you'll see like Tristana, Vayne, Graves, basically everybody pairs well with Tarek. Except, potentially, Ashe. Ashe is more of that passive style bot lane AD.
What? Is that a proxy pick or is that actually a Jace?
I mean,
I saw a lot of interesting picks coming out there that I was ready to talk about and get really excited about. And then the Jace actually stuck. So I'm interested to find out if that's actually a proxy pick or what's going on with that. I might message Vaeliant to see if that's a proxy pick. Let me actually go real quick.
Is that a support Jace? I didn't get any messages, but I hope this is a lock-in. I want to see some Zyra. I think she's a cool champion right now. She has a storage mechanic, similar like Teemo's shrooms or Corky's bombs, where she can store plants. She can then place those plants, and then based on which spell she hits them, the one of two spells she hits with, they grow into wah wah. I'm just gonna stop talking about
really strong top laners and like Malphite. Who'da thunk?
I can't believe we are gonna see a Malphite that didn't go really big.
Confirmed with Vaeliant, it's real. So they're going with Jace.
Is he playing it?
I do. I'm gonna find out. Let's see. I don't know. He was wondering why people think that. So I'm just gonna confirm because I haven't seen.
All right, because I've seen
a lot of high-level competitive Jaces.
Check this out. He played Jace in his last match.
Oh, he did.
He went 8-2-9.
Oh, so clearly he's really good.
And in his match history, he's got quite a bit of. Looks like he practiced earlier. So I believe that Jace is legit, which is cool because I think watching Jace is awesome.
Yeah, he's definitely like what a lot.
Playing against him is even better because he's terrible.
Actually, you know what this is. If you can't play Nidalee, why not play Nidalee B, which is Jace? Like literally, it is. He's another Nidalee, just not quite as strong. And so obviously, if anybody's gonna play him, why would it be Vaeliant, the king of Nidalee? That's actually pretty funny. This is gonna be exciting. We're gonna see how good this Jace is, and Vaeliant's a strong player, so obviously he really likes Jace, and I think it's maybe Jace is one of those characters I recognize. Like he could be really good. It's just it's a learning curve of who masters him quickly, and figures out what the best way to do his combos, which I don't think anybody's really quite mastered. And a lot of his abilities kind of come off a little bit lackluster, but he does have some strong elements to him. So we're gonna find out right now. So Vaeliant on Jace. I'm gonna post the KDA contest right now. So go. Feel free to comment. It is on our Facebook right now. Go to our Facebook, facebook.com/RaiseYourWeaponMedia. Comment on the post I just made. Guess the KDA of Vaeliant. Closest KDA with CS being the tiebreaker wins it.
And I really like looking at this team right now, the Vaeliant and JTJ. They've got a strong top and a strong mid. If you look at in terms of elo, their top elo players are going top and mid, which gives them a lot of, that's where your carries are going to come from. Like in bot lane, you have a bot lane carry, but they typically have a support, and it becomes more of its own environment. And great bot lane players can really show their skills and their strength, but in this situation, in terms of judgment, a lot of times you don't have someone that you play with on a regular basis being your partner, so it's kind of a feel each other out, and one person can kind of help cover for other for the mistakes of someone else. But when you're talking about mid lane and top lane, where it's a 1v1 matchup, most of the time, you got to feel comfortable going into your match with having your two strongest players going mid and top. On the other hand, you've got, I think, Z Infinity was his first pick. He's going to be going bot lane with Sleeveless, and then you got NoName, who's actually going to be he's the next strongest player. He's going to be the jungler, so he's either going to be. Hopefully, they got some practice in because having a strong jungler means you have coordinated ganks, and I think that can turn the tide of a bad matchup, whether it's skill or champ select matchup.
Yeah, and I also like seeing Annie. I like seeing Annie again. I haven't seen Annie played in forever. I think she's a pretty solid champ. I think she can kind of deal with TF a little bit, and the fact that they both pretty much can basically charge up a stun and then do stun combos on each other or trade and not take the initial burst. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually pans out. Although in the Judgment format, I definitely favor having a player like Majestics on a TF that can roam and in Judgment, the teams aren't quite, they have voice communication, but there's also a lot of, just uncoordination from not playing a ton together. Like I said earlier, though some of these teams have practiced. I saw them practicing before this tournament. But there is a lot of chances where there's not going to be coordinated enough. They're not going to be thinking about it. TF's going to come down. It's going to convert some kills. And it's going to snowball the game for one team or the other. So I definitely like that play from him, and I like Blue's focus on the CC heavy side of things. So
yeah, they definitely have a huge CC advantage. That's why we see Corky rocking the cleanse.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm really excited to see some some Jace play, some hot action from Jace. Because every time I've seen him, I've been like, ugh, this guy is terrible.
He's okay.
Sorry,
He
unimpressive would probably be another word. All right, we're going to jump right into game here. So thank you guys for sticking with us. Don't forget, if you want to watch the epic matchup between Griffle and GG Ice, please tune into RYW Media 2, where you have Shiner, CCC, and The Help, AOD's Dom, The Help casting there. That should be a great match. I recommend you tune into that as well. Actually tune into both. But yeah, I don't know if they're running any sort of promo there, but definitely KDA going on here for Vaeliant on Jace. Oh, he didn't even have the cool Jace skin either.
Full Metal Jace.
Ooh, Glacial Malphite. I'm in with that. I'm down with that.
Yeah, so really excited for both these teams in here. Sleeveless loading in, Cyberstellar going in. I was looking at this. All these members, are the original members that were supposed to be in this tournament. So thank you for all these players for showing up. Process. I'm going to be playing that Malphite, which should be pretty interesting going at top, because I know Process, he originally accidentally signed up as a captain. I said, hey, you want to be a captain, man? He was like, I don't feel confident enough in my abilities, to be in a captain role, and feel all that pressure. So he backed off, but now he got picked up on a pretty good team. I mean, NoName2Lazy, 2-time winner, Zen Infinity, and Majestics, both players that know No Name. And can play with them, so there should be some synergy there. So I really like that for his team. And then on the other side, you have the raw power of Vaeliant and JTJ to try to push their team. So should be. I mean, I'm really excited for this game. I think it's an awesome semifinal matchup. This is definitely one that when I saw the brackets format, I was like, oh, I kind of hope this happens. And then the other one I saw Griffle and GGIS had a chance to play each other. I was like, I kind of hope this happens. And lo and behold, both have happened. So 2 great games for you. NoName2Lazy versus Vaeliant right here on the RaiseYourWeaponMedia main channel. And then on RYW Media 2, we will, of course, have for you the awesome GGI versus Griffle matchup, which should be pretty epic.
Oh, yeah. GGI, Griffle, Ultimate Bedtime, all Vancouver. Judgment participants. They actually showed up as spectators. They couldn't quite get their team to the event, but they did show up and they did participate in our judgment event, and that was really cool. We got to hand Intimate Bedtime his performance bonus for being a judgment MVP. Yeah, got a picture, threw it up on our webpage. But yeah, if you guys are looking for prizes looking for prizes and giveaways, make sure to like our Facebook fan page. We're getting really close to 1,000. There's definitely a giveaway once we hit 1,000. Also, if you guys read the Reddit post, if you came over from the Reddit community, we also are doing giveaways for the people that subscribe, upvote, like all of our social media stuff, all the standard go like our stuff. There are giveaways each time we run a judgment.
Yeah, so just to fill in, I think we're pretty close on YouTube, or we've already passed it at the 500 mark on any of our social media sites, so YouTube, Twitter, anything like that. Even this Twitch channel, subscribe to us on this one. It's in the top left. You can follow us. And then whenever we go live, you'll get a little email saying we're going to go live for these judgment tournaments. Please do that. It helps us out. And obviously it helps you out because you'll get to know when we're going to live. You can see this awesome action, have more chances to win prizes. But if any of those hit 500, we're giving out $10 RP cards. Our Facebook page is at 985 likes, I think it is. So if you can even get your friends to come over and like it 15 more times, we're going to give away another $10 RP card on top of that. So definitely, hit any of those marks, extra $10 RP cards to the crowd, the viewers, everybody that's watching here. We'll give out something. We'll give out more prizes. And definitely, thank you for supporting us. It's like blue team just playing really cautiously here, spread out, and the red team in the meantime just basically protecting their blue buff. They want to protect Skarner, make sure he gets off to a good start, and there's no rocky happenings. Looks like Zen Infinity and Sleeveless going to do the golems down bottom. Pull that.
Yep, always a smart move. I usually do it in reverse. I have my support player pull it from over the wall. Mainly because you don't have this problem where they're going to somewhat get over a reset here, but I think they're able to pick that up. They shouldn't be late to lane.
Yeah,
and they will have that EXP advantage.
Yeah, it looks like they will be fine. They're actually going to get there before Corky and Janet even do. And looks like Skarner got a pretty heavy leash for himself. Used his spite. And there Annie charged up that stun at level 1, so she's going to use auto attacks probably till she can get that Q to possibly get off some harass and use that QW combo. Maokai actually making his way over towards the red buff, so he's cleared out blue. Looks like he started Raise. And now he's heading over here, going to put a little bit of pressure. Actually throws the first Sapperling into the brush there.
Sapperling to the face.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to back off out of this and let Skarner actually do his red. Well, Skarner, probably going to be a little bit cautious about it, but I'm sure he's not too worried after Maokai backed off rather. He does have quick support from Annie in there. Annie actually has popped her stun this lane. And it'll be interesting to see how Vaeliant plays this. I imagine, the way I see a lot of Jace players play it is, they're going to focus mainly on their range. And you can farm pretty well with the range, much like a Nidalee. But you actually have the ability to swap right away. So it's a very different dynamic instead of 6, when Nidalee catches a lot of her, power potential and stuff like that. Instead, with Jace, it's like you have that swap potential early. You can actually get out a lot of spells on people. But, I definitely think Process is pretty safe here with this Malphite in this top lane. It'll just be a matter of does he play too passively? Does he play scared of Vaeliant and let Vaeliant just farm up crazy amounts? Because Vaeliant's mechanics are really strong. He'll probably outfarm his opponent.
And we have
Pink Ward battle. Taric is the winner.
Sleeveless MVP, like the support man of the hour right there, was like, oh, I got this. I don't understand that early Pink Ward battle at all. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. You don't see a lot of early river cakes. No one is going to be doing Dragon on either team for the first 10 minutes. So I didn't understand it in the first place, but it was like, why not? Like,
it's a cool moment, but typically if someone goes an early Pink Ward, you'll see them fight over brush, because brush advantage is actually one of the most important aspects of early laning in bot lane. It's actually a really big focus. So taking that Pink Ward's usually to kill the enemy's green ward or their Pink Ward if they want to throw one down, and then you can gain ward advantage because they can't place a ward in there to actually root you out of there. But instead, we had a double Pink Warded Dragon, which really, like you said, just there's no point in it except for to have a Pink Ward fight. Like,
yeah, exactly. It was a Pink Ward fight, but like, check this out. Taric is melee. Like, he has to get up there and hit that forward with his hammer. Janna's like, whatever, I'm ranged. I can hit this thing from a mile away. Not only did he play that correctly, but he also chucked that stun, and he got to keep his Pink Ward. So that's just like, I don't know. Like, it's simple, it's dumb, but it's awesome, and that's what I like about it.
So, and the reason, like we're saying, like, some people might be like, oh, but yeah, now he has ward advantage. There's no ward. There's no ward there, but red can easily place a ward at the tri brush or in their own brush like they have right here down close, and they're still covered by wards. And then the other thing is that if Skarner really wanted to pull off a gank in this bot lane against blue, like, he doesn't have to go past Dragon. He just has to come down and Majestics might be in a little bit of trouble. As he locked in his gold card, he's going to get stunned possibly. No, he's so low. There's no ignite on him. They're chasing really, really hard. Stun is up. No other flash or way to close it on that. Majestics is barely going to escape out of that.
Ooh. Shout out to Tony.
Tony Majestics making plays. Vaeliant press against his own turret. Just going to farm up here. And as we look at the farm, we have 33 farm to 28. So Process doing a good job farming there against Vaeliant. In that top lane. Neither one of them have really gone at each other at all. It's pretty much like a gentleman's match up top. Like, we're not going to kill each other, so let's just farm. And that's going to be what it is. And it's kind of typically something you see for bottom lane, although bottom lane, they don't get down like that. They're like, this is my Pink Warded Dragon, and we're going to duel right now.
Oh, the support duel.
It's like the unwritten rule. It's like, the Pink Ward coming into play. NoName2Lazy rotating down, except for they have the ward right here that's going to see him. So it's not going to work out. And he's going to back off. And he's going to come back.
Oh, they're going in there. Oh. Smart move, smart move. NoName could have Twisted Advance. He definitely had the range to do it. Actually, he probably didn't know this, but Janna's flash is down.
Yeah.
The reason why you wouldn't do that is Janna would just flash you into turret, and that would just suck.
Now, is there any way she possibly popped her flash when she was fighting over the pink ward? Because that would be no, it didn't happen. I know, but like it would just be great, right?
Vaeliant first to 6. Malphite just hit 6. And he's actually getting quite a bit of harass here on process. And I think what they're doing is they knew Maokai showed himself in bot lane. So Vaeliant is basically saying, I got free range to just shove this lane into turret, force my enemy lane mate to possibly get denied CS because the turret's going to eat some of those creeps. And then once he realizes that Maokai he's no longer in bot lane. It's been about a good 30, 40 seconds, the time it would take for him to kind of make a play or get back to my lane. He's got his lane pushed. He can just go back to base. He can shop up and then come back to lane, possibly with some wards and with an item advantage. And in this case, it looks like he's playing Jace. He's got the double Doran's Blades. He's got boots. He's got a couple pots here, and he's got a ward. So, I mean, he's definitely looking to sustain in lane. I don't know how well he's going to... I don't think you can possibly kill Malphite. Malphite's biggest strength is that he's heavily defensive. He's got ways to make you less offensive with an attack speed reduction. He can slow you down, speed himself up. Worst case scenario, he can use his ult to get out.
Actually, good stun combo bottom. They're actually going to take Abyssal Bleeder with the Ash Arrow and pick off a kill. Zinfinity, I really like watching their bot lane. They're actually playing it really, really well. And Tarek doesn't necessarily lend himself to the early aggressive lane with Ashe, who typically plays more passive, but he actually is really good at protecting with that stun. And the other thing, basically what they do is like they can stack 2 really strong stuns in that bot lane, and even if Corki has that that cleanse, Janna doesn't, and right there they just pick her off, get her low enough, and they're playing this actually really, really smart. And as we look at most of the lanes for blue lane, besides the top lane, they actually have a pretty good CS. They're creeping up in their CS for an advantage. Vaeliant, I think, did he not see NoName right there? NoName's going to go in there, and here's the engagement on Vaeliant. He's going to be knocked out of that. Ult coming in to reduce damage, coming in here. Come up from Majestic's actually coming top, but it looks like Vaeliant, or Process might fall too as well. Lex2, oh no, he's not able to pick it off. So Process barely going to live in that scrum right there. NoName2Lazy falling to the turret. But, good little gank there. They know they need to focus on him, and they went up there and they made a play really, really quickly. And, heads-up play by Lexvo, being in the right area at the right time, able to help out his buddies. And I expect to see more of that. Because, I was about to mention a little bit earlier, it's like I'm waiting for the moment when we see, Majestics actually try to go out here and get more map presence and come in for some more of these ganks. And really use the strength that.
And now, what we did know was that Annie was obviously going to be unable to get out of lane there. She can't compete with TF's ultimate that's going to allow him to jump half a map. So she did what she should do, which was force those creeps into turret, which is going to deny Twisted Fate some CS. She then went ahead and took Race. She thought about going top, couldn't quite make a play on bot. She's going to go back, shop up, buy ward. Like, that's what you want to do. You kind of have 2 options. Whenever your lane mate leaves lane, specifically in mid, you got 2 options. 1, you can follow them, which not always the best advantage because you could be getting yourself baited. But if you've got it timed correctly, you've got the good ward coverage in the river, it definitely can work out. The second thing you want to do is, if you can't follow them up there, you just shove your lane and then go farm Race. We got an Ash Arrow coming up here.
Ash Arrow just barely misses. NoName2Lazy really wanted to lock him in there. That would have been ridiculously sick, but it just barely misses. And NoName2Lazy paying Vaeliant a lot of attention up here in this top lane.
As he should.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at Jace's kit, he's got semi-decent escape mechanisms. His passive Hextech Capacitor gives him a pretty good speed buff whenever he switches stances. Yeah. On top of that, he's got... I'm going to just double-check the name real quick, but I think it's the Acceleration Gate, which gives a massive speed buff for 3 seconds, like, as long as you walk through it. So I mean,
he even has a knockback.
He's got a knockback. I mean, like his ability to sit in lane and probably just farm with having that escape is pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, actually, what we saw in a lot of his trades, especially when Malphite walked up to him, Jace did his leap combo, did all his damage combos with his melee stuff, and did his range combos first. Melee stuff, did all his melee stuff, and ended with the knockback. And Malphite basically just walked up, took a big huge combo, and they got knocked away and can't even do anything after that. So, like really good in trading in this matchup, and it's very interesting to see Jace played in this form. It's interesting to see how strong he is later on, if he's able to actually carry the way Vaeliant carries with other type of characters.
Yeah, and I know right now our KDA is for Vaeliant, and he's a former MVP, but I'm gonna be honest here. I'm rooting for Process if I had to be biased, because Process I believe was unranked. He's going up against a 2K top laner. If anybody knows anything about Elo, basically in Elo, it's a rating used by chess, which means absolutely. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna stop talking because in bot lane we have some action.
Yeah, I mean that was just a textbook engage right there for the blue team. Exactly what they wanted to do. Janna got a little aggressive, and that's kind of one of those like blank moments where you kind of forget there's a TF on the board, and they're like, okay, we're gonna engage. We're gonna pop up. Ashe, she's moved near the brush. Let's go in. Let's do this. Meanwhile, Taric stalls Corki, so Corki's not able to do as much damage as he wants to do to her. And then you have TF rotate in, then Ashe arrow and a billion stuns later, GG, and they're able to just pick off Janna. Now, the good news is they're actually not losing Corki in these exchanges, but the problem is that Majestics is getting out of lane. He is getting banged for his buck.
Yep.
And he's actually pushing and still CSing along with Annie there. Annie's at 93. And ahead of
oh, they know Taric is here. Taric gonna get someone out of
yeah, he's in a lot of trouble right now. Timbers is gonna come down, and Sleeveless will be taken down, but Majestics has come in here, but it's a 3v2, and NoName I think he's got way too aggressive right there. He's gonna try to mitigate some damage, possibly pop actually flashes and then goes back in. Maybe a little padding in there.
Probably, yeah, a little bit of misclick action there.
Well, that's actually a bad engage for blue team. Unfortunate. Taric getting a little aggressive, trying to maybe play some wards or make something happen on the map.
And I thought they might be able to turn that around because both Skarner and Annie used their ult for Taric. I mean, you're like you got to be feeling pretty good. It's like, whoa, these guys just blew their ults for our support. Well, what can we do to make up for that? Unfortunately, Maokai doesn't do quite a bit. Doesn't do a ton of damage, especially if they're going to be building him to be more tanky. So building those early GP per 10 items. He does have really high AP ratio on his seedling, but he's probably not maxing that. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. They didn't really have the damage to take it in an opportunity once they recognized that the ultimates were down for Annie and Skarner.
Well, I think the problem is too is like all the damage that was left there. Like after Taric falls, essentially it was like a kind of like a 1v3 process that was extended. Like Taric got 1v3 sort of, or 1v2, and then Janna showed up, and then NoName went in, and it was essentially 1v3 because, I mean, Twisted Fate, you can throw out a little bit of damage, but he's pretty much done at that point with them up around the corner. He actually didn't have vision right there up around that corner except for from NoName2Lazy, and then once NoName2Lazy backs off, he really can't do much. So, yeah, good thing for Red Team. They've actually evened up the kills. They're down by just 1k now at this point. So definitely picking up those 2 kills there, really helping them out. And I'm interested to see when the first objective goes down. As I look at the warding, blue, crazy warding. Like top has wards wherever you'd want them, bottom has wards wherever they want them. I'm expecting red to come back with some sort of warding, especially with that early pink ward battle that we saw. I assume that Janna really is into warding and probably going to come back with some sort of ward, except for she has no wards. So I take that back. There's Jace has 2 wards up top. Is probably going to place. Skarner has a ward he's going to place, but there's no vision on Dragon at this point. Which, if blue team was tipped off to this, they could probably make a play.
Right now, that gold advantage is it's kind of from the farm, but it's mainly that Twisted Fate passive and that Ashe passive.
It's my favorite combo.
and the gold pretends you got stacking up. Taric's got 2 gold pretends. Malphite's got 2 gold for 10 items. Maokai's got 2 gold for 10. Like, it's like, whatever, guys. We're playing for the late game. Ashe arrow flying down mid. Or flying towards mid. It is going to...
It's going to miss. It's going to head top. It shouldn't hit Jace. Oh, Jace is going to run into it. No, he's not. Just
dang it.
Past it.
I love seeing those global, like, Ashe arrows just, like, winging out there.
And I also enjoy, like, the communication that's obviously going on. Where, Majestics is telling Hidden Fate, like, hey, throw arrow mid. If you hit her, I can go and I can kill her. We can capitalize on this. And, a lot of Ashers I know, especially like in a lot of formats, like they kind of want to hold on to their arrow. They don't want to take the low probability, entire map arrow. I mean, it's really cool when it lands, but it's not high probability that it lands, so they don't really want to give away that tool. But I think, definitely Zenfinity feels really strong down the bottom lane. He's like, I can give up my arrow, and if we can make a play in mid, and it'll actually give us a big advantage if it lands.
I think what they recognize that, Corki has cleanse, which means it's gonna be harder to make a play with that Ashe arrow in bot lane. So taking that risk, and I feel like Zenfinity probably feels that they have an advantage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, is what like you said. So, why not? I agree with it. Throw it out there.
Yeah. I mean, it can snowball your middle lane, even harder if Majestic's able to pick off some kills and you really press that. And an Andy that's behind, I mean, she really relies on her Tibbers combo. As this game gets farther on, she kind of falls off late game, and that's pretty much all she is. And if you can get her behind and that damage is blunted, that really, really affects her, because then she's almost just an AoE stun bot at best.
It's interesting with all the because Annie used to be the AP carry, right? Way back in beta or whatnot. Like she was the AP mid carry. But she's very vanilla right now. She's not impressive. She has a standard combo. She just kind of lost favor compared to a lot of the new carries that came. Ooh, point blank Ashe arrow will miss.
Skarner with a good flash right there. Not going to get comboed by the million stuns that were surely going to come in there. So that was the Skarner able to pull out of a really sticky situation right there. So good play by him. Ashe arrow's down, but luckily it is a low cooldown and will be back up shortly probably.
And I like this early ward here, this early Oracle, but hopefully NoName doesn't lose it.
Oh, he might get caught here. I think he's going to get caught. Oh, the flash at the last second. Skarner wanted it.
Oh, this could be really bad. They might have overcommitted too far. They had vision with that Sapperling.
Actually, a 4v1. Sleeveless actually going to flash out of this. There's like sandwiches inside of sandwiches. It was like...
it's the inception of sandwich. Like, the sandwich inception.
Yeah, that was possible trouble, but both teams able to sneak out of it, get out of it in time. Especially when you press hard in a jungle in a chase like that, you get kind of tunnel vision. But if Ashe and Tara could both collapse at the same time and Majestics to come down, there's really not much escape for you as the Andy Skarner, and you have to pull off some really sick ult damage action to try to get anything out of it.
So not a lot of action. No real. We haven't seen either team try to compete for Dragon. Dragon, the big winner of this game so far.
Yes, he will.
The blue team they've got a 1K gold lead right now. Again, that's all from passive gold from GP10 items, Twisted Fate, and Ashe. So, but 1K never a big deal. That's not an item advantage anywhere, no matter how you split it amongst other members.
Maybe ward advantage at best. Maybe
true.
Oracles or something like that. But when I really look at these teams, I like the consistency in the CS coming from the red team. If you look at them, they're all like 160, 159. Like they're all hanging pretty tough. Process is slowly starting to fall behind a little bit of the farm, but he's still up there. But I really like that they're all keeping pretty high CS numbers as we press in and we just crossed the 20-minute mark. They're all doing pretty well, and Process might be in a little bit of trouble here, but nope. He's going to easily back off. He's Malphite. I mean, it's just
that was a very frantic flash. Like, I mean, like if I'm Malphite, I'm like, you're not gonna mess with me. I'm Malphite.
I'm like, are you gonna case me in Morok while you pull me away? It's like, okay.
Like, yeah. So it's a little bit of a frantic. I don't think that'll make a big deal. He's still Malphite. Oh.
And there is Janna getting blown up by the awesome combo of Tarek.
That was excellently. You know what? MVP of this match so far is Sleeveless. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah, he won the pink ward war, and he won the pink ward war.
Again, like he hit her into like having to place a ward, and as soon as she gets into that position to place that ward, Ashe out to the face, followed by Tarek's stun. So
yeah, really solid.
Tarek putting in work. That's how I feel.
Yeah, Sleeveless has been playing really, really well. I have to say. And Process now, he's been left alone. He's gonna get to farm up some CS up top here while the Vaeliant is away. Looking at his Jace build, he's gone Aegis. He's definitely going tanky bruiser. So we're going to see a lot more of the melee side of him and probably just like shooting to chase or using his gate to kind of almost do like a pseudo Shurelya's initiate.
And we're about to see Majestics actually, show us how strong he is. Not so much him, but the Twisted Fate matchup. Because he's going to be able to shove this lane faster than Annie. And he's going to be able to ult. And
possible trouble right now down here for Zinfinity. He's actually been pulled in here. Janna ult 2, nailing her to the wall, and she will be picked up there. So they will take Zinfinity in this bottom lane. And now they're hunting for targets. Sleeveless trying to run away is going to be slowed a lot, but they shouldn't be able to kill him underneath this turret. I doubt they're going to dive in there. And actually, Annie is rotated down there, so actually there may be
they can kill him with Annie.
Yeah, Annie's coming in. Annie's like, hey, Stun, what's up? Tibbers, Flame, I can kill you by myself. What's up? I'm out. Tibbers, tank this for me. Get in there. And they're going to actually take bottom turret. I actually really like this coordination.
Which could turn into a dragon. Actually, they might be paying for dragon right now. Maokai is going to want to be careful.
Yeah, he's frantically running down there to ward it, but I don't know how much a ward's going to do because 2v4 isn't even a proposition for them at this point.
Possibly with Smite Steal.
Yeah, but,
does not have the level advantage.
Yeah,
While Lecto has been farming up a Storm, he's actually 2 levels ahead of Maokai.
Yeah, but Jessica's actually really smart there, taking the middle turret in response. But one thing definitely, when people think about possibly smite stealing, if you have an Oracles, it's not that good of an idea because usually you have to sacrifice yourself to smite steal in most cases. And if you lose your body and an Oracle, it's pretty much like 2 deaths. You're pretty much giving up the dragon advantage for a chance at it, and it's not 100% that you smite steal it. So if you miss it and you give yourself an Oracle, it's a huge setback for a jungler. And as you said, he's already kind of behind, so... definitely not something.
Yeah, luckily he didn't go in there for the smite steal. Didn't make, decided not to make a play. It was a good decision. He's probably going to want to try and catch up and farm somehow. And I'm not sure the best. I think the best way might to be let Twisted Fate get a lane to gank, and then he'll just take over some mid farm. And it's hard to kind of say that. How do you? I mean, as a jungler, your mindset is 2 things. One, I got to go out there and make plays via ganks. I gotta do my jungle path. I gotta gank. The second thing is like not only are you an initiator, but you're also kind of like a support, right? You're buying extra wards. You're buying oracles. You're not typically in that. You're not being asked to carry. And NoName catching Janna here has no backup though. He's all by himself. He's about to really
the bait. I think it's the bait. Cleanse from Corki. Corki's gonna back up out of this.
I think that was some miscommunication.
Yeah, that was definitely some miscommunication. It was almost one of those like, do you have Ash Arrow? And then top lane, that's a catch right there. Annie coming up in the lane, in the brush. That's a lot of burst damage coming out there. They will take out Process, and they can actually take this turret if they want to, which 24 minutes in is a pretty good play for them, and it looks like that is what they will do. I do like this coordination between JTJ and Vaeliant. That was his first pick, so he's definitely looking to him to be a strong player in this game. And they're doing some good things. And
I wouldn't mind seeing Oracle on Taric here soon. He had those early GP10 items. He's actually kind of far ahead in his build in the sense that he's got, Aegis here before 25 minutes. I would say, his next trip back, he's at about 300 gold. Probably wait till about 500-600 gold. Go back, grab an Oracle, grab 2 or 3 wards, and actually maybe start to roam. I know it's like, hey, but wait, Maokai's already got an Oracle. Well, right now their biggest advantage is in bot lane, and I think an Oracle here could make things interesting for Maokai to perform a lane gank. And I'm just looking at some aggression here. Oh, they're going to catch Skarner?
I don't think so. I think Skarner's going to be able to get out of there.
Yeah, he'll be able to exoskeleton away.
Yeah, I mean, Maokai actually has been doing a lot of good roaming. He's been able to keep onto his Oracle pretty well, and he's basically just going around trying to root out wards. I've seen like right now, Blue has a pretty strong advantage of warding around the map. The only red ward any significance is really at the blue, but for the blue team that was just placed as they rotate down. And actually, great sapperling right there, actually catching out the fact that JTJ was lying in wait up there. It's a very
but this. Hopefully they're going to see this ward. Skarner running right by it. They're going to want to get out of dodge right now. They've got 4-ish members in route. Malphite actually transitioning down. He could have pressured top a little bit, but I think that they're sensing that Dragon may be due soon, or they're just looking to make a play. Either way, they got top lane pushing which means they're going to send Jace top, and now Malphite has an opportunity to make a play. I would actually try and brush gank as Malphite right now. I think you want to try and use that ult to your advantage, or use Twisted Fate ult to transition. And I think that's what they might be doing.
Yeah, I think they.
Nothing's ported.
They have a lot of big chance, especially with the Oracle from Maokai to come in here. They know that no one can see what they're doing. Corki's all by himself underneath this turret. They basically need something to lead it off, and here it comes. Ash Arrow will hit, and there's no way Corki's making it out of this one. So they will pick off that kill. They will get bottom turret as well, and then they can go and do Dragon and have a 5v4 advantage.
Yeah, I don't quite have the timer here for Dragon. Ooh, Skarner with a counter Oracle.
Here, possibly.
Oh, man. That's the best feeling in the world, where like the enemy team finally shows up with the Oracle and you're just like, nope, take it right from them.
So I mean, I have to say, like, kind of the MVP right now, looking at it, is NoName2Lazy's Oracle. The fact that he's been able to go around here, they have all the vision advantage in that bottom half of the jungle. Red really has no wards at all, and that's a really good strength for them. But as we look at the team gold, I mean, that kill was good, but I mean, we've pretty much been pretty even in gold throughout this entire game now. And we're creeping up on 30 minutes. Both teams, having really strong laning phases. We have multiple people over 200 CS. Some of them creeping up on 250. And we're really, really deep in this game with lots of heavy laning. And I'm interested to see what happens when these teams actually clash together as full units. Because right now it's a lot of positioning going around. It looks like Skarner actually has an Oracle right now, so he's going to be able to clean out wards. And the Vision Ward battle is going to be really, really important as we go further onto this for positioning and see who catches who out. Because we have a lot of smart, like, roaming kind of, catch people out of position kind of play from both teams, as opposed to, like, hey, let's just team fight or push a lane or fight over an objective necessarily.
So definitely both teams have Dragon timer. Dragon has spawned. TF just about in range to use his ult. Should a fight go down? I think it's going to be a warding position battle, as you called. If these two teams fight, I'm not sure which team's going to win. I would have to believe that the team NoName2Lazy has an advantage with all of their CC, but, a really good Annie ult was stun. You've got Cleanse on Corki, who can maybe just position over a wall. I don't know if starting Dragon's the right play here, especially because they're grouped up.
Above, I like her positioning right now, although she will be seen out by TF, and now we have the big, huge engage here. In comes Malphite. Shurelya's Red has actually been popped possibly in this fight, and now we're having Janna ult coming in. Looks like Ash is being able to kite Jace right now in this team fight. Majestic's trying to run for his life, trying to get away from this Skarner. NoName2Lazy trying to help him out here with some slows. Looks like Lex will fall. That's a triple kill for Majestics. And
shout out to Tony Majestics!
Vaeliant running for his life right now, and that's how I feel about Jace.
That's how I feel. Oh,
I'm attacking. I'm attacking their Ashe. I'm getting kited, and I kind of don't do enough damage, and now I can escape. And now they're gonna lose 2 turns.